Clock already. Oh wow.
Yeah. We are live.
Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. This program is brought to you by Lee's Family Trailer Sales and Service, one of America's fastest growing RV dealerships. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Okay.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You take off for a week, then you can expect to come back and just take over?
Well, I forgot how to do this show 2 weeks, and I took a dumb pill this morning. You know how long it took me to get ready for the show today?
All day.
I can read all the manuals.
All day.
It's terrible. Terrible when you do that.
We got a great show, but let's talk a little bit about what we did last week, because right after our show, I took advantage of my extremely high stature in the journalism aspect of the RV industry and went up to the Salmon Falls KOA. And look they got a brand new, well, you go back to that other one. We got a brand new swing. I got to use it and tested it. It said 180 pounds, and I fit right in because I only weigh 150. Brand new concrete pad, and look at the firewood they left me. And
well, you're right. You're world famous. You're very important. So they took care of you. That's at Lebanon KOA at Salmon Falls. Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful campground.
Did you play in the playground?
They threw me out. I tried to miniature golf, but I used the driver on one of the holes. I didn't realize that you don't use the driver at a miniature golf course. I hope
you didn't wear your Speedo down at the pool area.
No, but look at that. That's not just a pool, Bob. Look at that. It's an alpine slide right into the pool. And I will tell you this: the water is 80 degrees. The temperature, the outside air temperature, was 55 degrees. And people were sliding down there into the thing, but then when they got out of the water, they were like steaming. So
interesting. So you didn't sleep in the glamping tents, and you didn't rent a park model, huh?
They're brand new park models. Are really nice. And in fact, if you go back to that park model, they're not even. They just arrived a couple days. They're still doing the finish work. You can see a little bit of the work that's still to be done. They're really nice.
So tell everybody where that was again.
So nice. That is in Lebanon, Maine, right on the Maine-New Hampshire border, and it's a KOA. Heather took great care of us there, and our friends at Blue Water. And by the way, I see Audrey, I see Dante, and guess what? We had a contest last week, and both Dante and Audrey won those tickets. So
that's amazing.
They'll be going up there.
That's amazing.
We've got 5 winners.
Private envelope.
Yep, exactly. So we have a different show tonight.
Yeah, because I'm back, so it'll be a better show.
Yeah, right. You got the right shirt on? Yeah, he's got the right shirt on. Eric is just laughing here, saying this show can't be crazy.
Inside out.
But we've got a world champion, and not me. I mean, I know you're thinking when I say world champion, I know the first thing you think of is me.
I thought you were referring to me because I'm back after taking a week off.
Yes, Audrey, that is the Flat Rock Bridge campground. Exactly. So
you want to tell people who our guest is, or you want to just talk for an hour and the hell with him?
Yes. Okay. His name is EricJackson, and the reason he's famous is for 2 reasons. He's famous because he is a world champion kayaker, and I didn't know this existed. Mm-hmm. He is a whitewater rafting fisherman, if there's such a thing. He developed a kayak to fish from. whatever. I would just go to McDonald's and order a fish fillet sandwich if I wanted fish that badly. But anyway, but most of all, he's an RVer. And the other reason he's famous is because he has a dog.
Wait a minute. You want to just call it up? Don't tell them, but they read the title, so they joined in today.
He has a dog. Jason Cole, you're going to love this show. He has a dog. Listen to this. As soon as the dog gets here. This dog, as far as we know, here he is, folks. This
the famous dog.
He knows how to drive. He can drive an RV.
We have so many humans that can't drive an RV, and yet we have a dog that can do an RV.
But Bob, not only can he drive an RV, he can drive an RV backward.
Well, let me
down the boat ramp. In fact, do we have video?
Let me see if I just might be able to.
This is when Jay Leno used to say, "Let's go to the video." Let's go to the video, folks. We don't see it.
Well, you see it?
I hear it though. You're live. You're recording.
We hear it, but we don't see it.
There we go.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You want to do the commentary, Eric?
If you want, I guess. I mean, I hate to relive this one, but thanks for bringing back wonderful memories, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm putting my bass boat in the water for a FLW Pro Tour event on Lake Seminole in Georgia, and it just so happens YOLO Tech. It's like a GoPro mount, and the owner of YOLO Tech is doing a promo video, and they've got 5 guys with YOLO Tech sticks with GoPros on top, videoing. And they
watch the reverse lights. See the reverse lights go on?
Yeah, that's me in the orange, and that's my dog driving right there. See that, right? Anyway, you can almost see him in the driver's seat.
And there goes the boat.
There goes the boat.
Yeah, the RV goes in, it knocks the boat in the water. I barely make it in to hit the brakes for the front tires, but unfortunately the back is floating. And that's Christian in the green. He's the owner of YOLO Tech. How do we get so much video? He's sitting there making a promo video. When the RV started going in the water, he went like this. We're gonna see if my truck can pull this over. And just pointed the camera at the RV. Anyway, they were ready to rock and roll with it. That RV, by the way, that is the Safari Simba. And that is the end of the Safari Simba. Bye, John. We'll see you later. Come back soon.
He must have gone to get his pillow so that he could take a nap during the show.
No, I was trying to.
Bob, feel free to go away and take your pillow with you.
At a certain time, that skylight, we've got to put a cover on that skylight.
Yeah. You've been saying that for 2 months.
Yeah, right. Don't worry about the TV show, John. Just you go play your back room.
So anyway, so here's the scoop. EricJackson is our guest, and we have a specialer guest, a more special guest coming a little bit later.
I thought you were trying to change the English language.
Yeah, a more specialer guest. But Eric, I don't really know where to start. We've had you on another show that we do, and you do a phenomenal interview. But you really are above and beyond the trophies for kayaking, which my guess that our audience tonight might not be as much as oh, there we go. A couple medals, right?
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about RVs, man.
Yeah. You're an ambassador for RVing. And
not officially, but in spirit I am. I'm a big fan of RVs. I'll put it very specifically. I've got this amazing see how that's a log house? Yeah. I've got a log house on 20 acres. It's a beautiful log home in the middle of nowhere with a hot tub and fire pit. And if right now somebody said, right now you have 2 choices. for the rest of your life, you either have to live in an RV full time or your house full time, but you can't have both. Pick. I'll torch the house to the ground and jump in the RV every time. The RV is a house with wheels, best real estate in the world. Anyway, so I'm all about RVs. Anyway, in case you're wondering.
So that is a pretty, what do you call it? Dramatic endorsement about your love of RVing.
Yeah.
And the very interesting thing is, let's be perfectly honest, Eric. You wouldn't have and we'll go back and I'm going to ask you to tell your story in an abbreviated version, but you wouldn't have that house if it wasn't for the RV. Really, is what it all boils down to. Am I right?
There you go. No, we lived in Bethesda, Maryland, suburban DC. We lived in a wonderful neighborhood, one of the best neighborhoods in the world, I think, if you're living in a neighborhood, inside the Beltway in DC and Maryland. And, we moved from that neighborhood into an RV full time in 1997 on Halloween Day, actually November 1st, the day after Halloween. And we started just traveling. I'm already a member of the U.S. kayak team, a Olympian, world champion kayaker guy, and I travel the world already. But now we're going to do more micro traveling, meaning we're going to be in an RV and we're going to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, where typical travel is A to B, back to A, hang out, unpack, pack for another trip a month later, and go to C, come back to A. But now we're going to A, B, C, D, E, F, G forever. For 8 years straight, we just traveled around Canada, the U.S., and we covered all the corners. North Dakota, I think, was the only state in the lower 48 that we didn't hit. I
don't mean to interrupt you, but I do want to interrupt you.
He did.
Were you doing this when you were training for the Olympic team? I mean, you were an Olympian from 1989 to 2015, and then because you must have felt lazy or something, you made the U.S. team again in 2017 at the age of 53.
Yeah, well, actually, I just made the team last month. I'm in the age of 57, so I'm going to the World Cup in Germany as a member of the U.S. kayak team in Czech Republic in 3 weeks. So anyway, but I'm not to confuse it. But so yes, I was training for kayaking. I'm on the U.S. kayak team. When we moved in the RV, I'm already on the U.S. kayak team. I was already in the Olympics. I'd won my first world championships already. And we went on the road. And the reason to go on the road was a variety of things. The main reason was because I wanted to go kayaking in all the best places, and I wanted to bring my family with me. Before, we didn't make enough money for me to go to California for a month and bring a family of 4 to California. I was just a poor amateur kayak dude, right? So the RV, when we moved into the RV, we moved out of a house we rented that was $1,400 a month. We had a used, we had a 91 Land Cruiser. It was an older model that we owned. We had, electric, water, blah, blah, blah. When we moved to an RV, and it was a used RV, what was it? It was holy crap. What was our first RV, honey?
Coachman Murata.
Oh, yeah, Coachman Murata.
Thanks, Christine. Appreciate it. Yeah. Help us out.
It was a Coachman Murata. So it was a Class A, no slide outs, the whole deal. We moved in that, and we saved $1,100 a month on our monthly expenses as an athlete that on a fixed income, kind of like retired people. Saving $1,100 a month was amazing. We were able to go. This is my wife, Christine, by the way.
I was wondering if you were going to recognize that she was in the room.
No, he was talking
in the house. So
she'd like to.
Well, I have to fix everything he said.
Right. But it's important to point out here that your kayaking career, if you will, it would take you all over the place, and a lot of times not in major cities. So you know, you had to fly there, then rent a car and all that other stuff, or drive because you take your kayaks with you.
John, we should note that when we talk about kayaking, it's not what what our fans do for kayaking, but I'm sure Eric could,
we have some video.
I'm sure Eric could teach you how to do this. If you would just pay attention, he would be glad to teach you how to run over the falls.
Yeah, you just like paddle over. Gravity does all the work, really.
Yeah, gravity does all the work.
Yeah,
but
gravity will take care of you. Just get in the kayak and come with me, and gravity will take care of the rest.
Just like that.
But it's important to say that the kayak tour is very similar to the PGA tour and to the NASCAR tour, where you don't have home games. Every game's an away game, and you're at a different city each time. And what your lovely wife said is that, you know, your kids were what, 7 and 4, or even younger than that, where she said, we're either getting an RV, and you didn't know anything about an RV,
or let her finish the sentence.
Okay, Christine, we're getting an RV, or
we're done. We're done. We couldn't survive the way that we were surviving. I knew the fastest route to every major airport in the DC area. It was just constantly, he was in and out of town a lot. The kids, you know, it's really hard to parent that way. You know, having one parent semi-absent, with their own ideas about how parenting should work. And so, yeah, it wasn't working. So it was, I mean, we both sound pretty drastic, but it was basically RV.
So if we were making an ad for you, you could say RV, you know, not only does your dog drive the motorhome into the lake, but the RV saved your marriage. I mean, this is an incredible story.
It's true.
That is 100% accurate. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, the things that he wanted, which were to travel around and kayak and be in all the best places at the right time of year, because kayaking is not like NASCAR in the fact that it's dependent on the water being in a certain place at a certain time of year. So Colorado is great in June, but it's not so great in August.
Because the water's all gone.
Scenario, yes. And so, you know, ideally you're kind of traveling all over to where, you know, the optimal spots are. And that's what he wanted. And what I wanted was a husband and some quality time with my kids. And so we put our heads together and we were like, you know, RV, you know, I get what I want, you get what you want. And it, you know, it's maybe the single best decision that we ever made.
And it was your idea you did the research on the RV.
Had you been an RV? Had you been an RV or a camper when you were a kid? Did you know what you were getting into, or did you just know it was a way to travel and keep your family together?
We had a friend of ours who had an RV. His name was Dane, and he had traveled around with like a bunch of his friends in a really old beat up RV. And we were both actually separately thinking, man, he has the life. Like, he just gets to drive around. And for me, like coffee in the morning, you know, you wake up and you're still home kind of idea. And we were both kind of separately thinking. And I think Eric was the first one to say aloud, you know, man, that would be great. And I was like, it really got me thinking about it. And I did a bunch of research and figured out that if we sold everything we owned, which wasn't a lot, that we could move into RV full time and he could just work on the road and we could make it work as long as we were small, you know.
And you did it on a real short notice, right?
Yeah, in about 6 weeks, I think it was, from the time we decided.
From the time, 30 days from the time we decided until we had an RV, sold everything in the house. And so basically October or September, the last week in September, we decided, and on October 31st on Halloween, we had the RV parked out front. Our kids trick-or-treated the neighborhood. They came to our house. The house, we just sold everything. We put an ad in the Washington Post, and we cleaned the entire house out. We didn't pack anything. We literally didn't pack. We just said yard sale, house sale. And Saturday and Sunday, they came and they bought They took the sheets off the bed. They took the bed. They took the spoons and forks out of the drawer. They took the TV. They took the DVDs sitting there, the VHS, the whole deal. And at the end of the day, we just sweeped out the thing. We had $7,000 in cash in our pockets. We had an RV sitting out front. And the next day, off we went.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Like that.
And it was like the second we started driving, we're just like, woohoo, this is awesome. We were so fired up.
But I do think like the unexpected results of it being in an RV, like, and you know, it will resonate with some people. It's like when you go on vacation and your family seems much closer because like your kids, all they have is each other, you know, they don't have any other friends or distractions, and you eat together, and people are always like, man, vacations are so great. And the RV just compounded that, you know, it really made it so that we were each other's, you know, entertainment and support. And we didn't have a lot of outside influences at that point. I mean, if you think about 1997, when we moved into an RV,
how old were the kids now?
4 and 7.
4 and 7. Okay.
So especially the 7-year-old, she had a lot of friends, you know, and I don't know, she was busy.
So you went on an 8-year vacation.
It felt like it in a lot of ways. I mean, you know, I call my life with Eric a bit of a roller coaster, and the RV like mellowed out the curves a little, you know.
So you must have homeschooled the kids.
I had always wanted to do that. School, a lot of parts of school where Emily was going to school were very distracting for her. And I felt like she didn't have the best influences at times. And so it had been on my mind a lot anyway. And then my son and Eric both, they were hearing aids. And so Dane was never going to do that well in a classroom environment. So I felt like that was going to be like a really good option for him. And so it was just a natural progression that we made. You know, I was like, oh, we get to move in the RV and I get to homeschool the kids. So it was really great. Recess was really long, but the homeschooling was great. Yeah.
And now fast forward 24 years, your daughter has an RV. Her husband and her 2 kids, they all travel in an RV about half a year. Your son has his own.
That's Emily.
My son has his own RV too. I mean, I don't know, the pipe dream of what your kids are going to do and be when they grow up, you know, is, you know, I'm glad they're doing what they love. And I'm really glad that it just shows me how much they enjoyed being in the RV as a kid, because had that not been the case, I doubt they would have gotten RVs for themselves and their own families. And so it really makes me feel even better about that decision, because, you know, there were sacrifices. I mean, you know, you can't get away from that. But it makes me feel really good that they have RVs right now.
Well, it's not like they just have a kayak like neighbor next door. They're champions in their own right. They have their own pages. Dane's sponsored by Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the kid next door is going to take dad's kayak and go down to the river.
Mm.
No, I think they learned a little bit from the old man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, my daughter is like me on the outside and Eric on the inside for sure. She is. But I think one thing about travel in general is it. You know, I've used the word compassion. I don't know whether that assimilates very well into travel, but meeting a lot of different people in a lot of different ways and a lot of different financial situations like that an RV puts you into, it just drops you into like other people's lives,
right?
Makes people more compassionate, and they have grown up to be, they're champions and they win a lot of stuff. I don't know, but they're very compassionate and very aware of their surroundings.
As Mark Twain would say, the cure for prejudice is travel.
Yeah.
That's a Mark Twain quote. Anyway, our kids are very well traveled, and they're very they can assimilate into any culture in any place, and everywhere they go, they're welcome. They do a really good job, and it's really the RV experience, and not just being, you know, in a place where they go to the school and they go through the school with all the same people with their same prejudices. You know, the other line is, are your prejudices inherited or are they your own? And one way to determine that is through getting around and meeting other people. And the RV experience obviously is like one of the best ways to assimilate into a lot of different areas and see different people and different cultures. And anyway, it's pretty awesome. So my kids are very.
You have a favorite line that you use. I venture to say the kids probably heard it several times while they were growing up.
Train, do the right things, you'll be rewarded. There you go. Cool. Yeah. And luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Right.
They both intersect. But it might be hard for you all to believe, but here we are, 24 years later. You really were pioneers when it comes to, getting out of a stick-built house or a sedentary situation. And today, because of even since we've spoke last December, with COVID and with technology, young families like yourselves are all over the place. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. With the homeschooling I guess they call it road schooling now. That's
pretty good
terminology. But there are thousands of them, if not tens of thousands, in the United States right now. And when you really analyze it, you were one of the first.
Well, people definitely thought we were crazy and by the point, and terribly bad parents. I mean, just. That has definitely changed. People are like, oh, I can't believe. Now, the idea has certainly shifted among certain demographics. I'm sure there's lots of people that don't believe it was a good thing. But I just, if I could say anything to people, it's just that, any kind of concentrated time with your children, RV makes that so much easier. But any kind of concentrated time with your kids is just going to be beneficial to them and you. In so many ways, and an RV just really facilitates that. It's not the only way, but barring locking yourself in a small room with your kids, at home, and turning off the internet, there's not there's not a lot of ways to assimilate, to make that very similar to living in RV, which is what we did.
All right, we have to take a break for our sponsor. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to let John show you his professional TV and radio voice as we take a quick break.
Okay. We want to thank our sponsor, Lee's Family Trailer Sales, which is now Camping World, and they are just outside of Portland, Maine. And if you're looking for a travel trailer or service or parts or a great store, the place to go is Camping World in southern Maine. So with
Route 302 in Windham, Maine.
Windham, Maine, right up there. Up there. We should tell our audience. That we are talking with Eric and Christine Jackson, who are longtime RVers, and they have made their name in the kayaking world, and in the fishing world, and in the parenting world, and now in the grandparenting world, and in the world that they have not won any accolades is teaching their dogs how to drive.
No, I'm sorry, but Bodie is the world's best backwards RV driver.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I should say, I should mention that I did go to University of Maine. So
there we go.
At Orono?
Yeah.
Orono, yeah. For all those folks up in Maine, just want to say hi. And don't forget to go to Lee's. That's where to go.
Yeah. So Frank, we neglected our audience a little bit here. Frank has a question, and sometimes they tend to be on the smart ass side, but that's all right. We allow it. Can you read that, Eric?
Yeah, there's road schooling made for road scholars. Yeah, I can. So depends what you define as a scholar.
No, road scholar. That's a specific thing.
Yeah, I know, road scholar. So okay, well, you answer the question.
It can. Depends where your priorities are, I guess. I consider my children very versed on things that were important to me and now apparently important to them. So
obviously it must have been important to them because they're following in the same
You know, exactly.
And for what it's worth, our children were self-sufficient at about age 14, like to the point where you pull into a gas station or let's say McDonald's and you go to walk in and the kids follow you in. They're like, no, like you say, what do you want? What do you want, kids? And they'll be like, no, it's okay. I'll get my own. Like they wouldn't even let you buy their McDonald's, for example, starting at age 14. My daughter did it first, and my son thought it was cool, so he started doing it too.
Well,
And then
Emily's older than Dane, so
she's older. She's 3 years older. So she was independent first.
She's actually like 20 years older than us to this day. But
bring it back to the RVs because they followed you in your RV adventures also. Tell us about their RVs.
Okay, so they've gone through a series. So both of our kids, Emily, who is now 31, when she was maybe 18 or 19, she bought a Westfalia, a VW bus. Thought it was a great idea. That's the girl, yeah, right there. And they loved living in it, but it didn't ever usually get them to the place they were going.
at the right time. It got them there eventually.
They eventually got there, but normally not on schedule. So they went from that to a Sprinter van RV, a Winnebago View, not the View, was the first one. This is Sprinter van. Sprinter van RV.
The Era?
Yeah.
Navion.
They love that. And then my son Dane got a Sprinter van RV also. And then so they both had Sprinter van RVs. And then Emily and Nick got a Winnebago View.
Mm-hmm.
Now so Nick. Explain Nick. Our fans don't know who Nick is.
Oh, my son-in-law Nick. So here's who Nick is. Nick is the guy who we moved into the RV with us when he was 15 from Canada because it's the last pre-arranged marriage in North America. And she doesn't like when I say that, but that's pretty much the deal. And then when he was 19 years old, he won the world championships in Thun, Switzerland. I got second, so he stole he
married Emily before that.
No, so he married my daughter and took my world championship title in the same year.
And you let him stay around?
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean,
live right next door, right? They live right next door.
I'm really nice that way. I mean,
he's really nice. We really love him.
And Nick is amazing. Anyway, so that's who Nick is. So he's a world champion kayaker. He's amazing, father to our grandkids and a husband to our daughter. Anyway, the two of them, they bought the Winnebago View and they've been traveling, and then they went from the Winnebago View to a travel trailer. Mm-hmm. A Keystone travel trailer. Now they have a Cougar. It's their second travel trailer. My son Dane went from the Sprinter van to, I don't even know. A travel trailer. I'm not sure what kind he's got, but he's right now, that's Dane there. He's in Portland, Oregon. So Dane is he's like the dominant. He's in California now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he's in California now. And he's the dominant male kayaker, like in waterfall running. He's the world champion in freestyle kayaking. So like, he's the guy that's winning everything right now.
But his friends, he bought a travel trailer that had like a full bedroom and bunk beds and a fireplace, like a single guy, which seemed odd at the time. But his friends all hang out with him and call it the mansion. So like lovingly call Dane's trailer the mansion, and they all travel around together, it's really fun. I mean, it's amazing to me how much, he was just like, I want to wake up in my bed and not have to wake my friend up to have a cup of coffee. So they need their own room basically. And so he bought a really big travel trailer and he loves it.
And he tows it with a big pickup.
He loves it. Yeah. He's got a Nissan Titan that he pulls it with.
And Emily and Nick have a GMC something.
Denali.
Sponsor decals all over it.
No, well,
yeah, Dane has
sponsored.
Dane's logoed up, and then Emily and Nick is not logoed up. Emily and Nick are sponsored by GMC, and they just run a blank one. Dane bought his, and I think his is logoed up with Jackson Kayak stuff.
Yeah. We should tell people that if they our audience, if they have any specific questions about RVing or kayaking, that the Jacksons will be happy to answer the questions that you might have. I did get a note from Audrey Foley saying that I did see that video and caution my driver husband to shut down the rig so the dogs can't change gears on us.
Don't worry, I told him the same thing.
Okay, so
but it's important to point out.
But he didn't listen.
The transmission on that particular unit, it was a push button transmission. It wasn't a gear shift.
Yeah. Hey, Audrey, always remember, cautioning your husband may or may not produce any results. Okay. But if your husband makes a mistake, he'll figure it out on his own.
Well, her husband drives a fire truck, so he knows about trucks and gears and all that other stuff. So
well, I tell Audrey thank you, and I appreciate that.
That would have been good information to have before.
You had it. You had it.
Yeah. So, Eric, when we were talking back in December, you said, we're at the end of our first interview. You said, I'd love to tell you some of the places that we went during our first few years, because you guys really saw the USA. Talk about some of those special places that the RV gave you the capability to see, not from a tourist bus, but from being able to get up close and personal with them. Where were your favorite?
I'm going to let that go to Christine, because Christine could list them off. I go do. And I have my favorite, but what do you think? Like,
I mean, I loved. We pulled in the middle of winter. We pulled into Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and they just had this enormous parking lot right at the base of a little bunny slope that the kids could ski at for free. And so we parked the RV, and the kids just jumped on the bunny slope and they skied for half a day. And we came back to the RV and had hot chocolate and hung out, and it was just like, God, I don't know that it gets. I mean, I grew up skiing, but it's very expensive, and the RV just showed us that there are ways to do things that are beautiful and amazing, and free for the most part, which really surprised me. But that was an amazing
places
experience.
Like Arches National Park, for example. When you stop, you just pull off the road. Arches, it's a park, it's the middle of nowhere, and you pull off. Typically, you'd pull off in a car. There's nothing around it, and you go for a big hike.
I'm so amazed that you mentioned Arches National Park. We drove by it 9 times before I finally got him to pull in.
Anyway, but you pull off with an RV. You pull off, and you go for a hike, and you go back in, and you check out all the cool stuff, and then you come back out and you sit there. You're in the RV, and you have, you open a refrigerator, you make dinner, and you can go out for another round. You can go watch the stars.
I would say, the biggest thing is like opposed to flying, where
about specific places.
You get to a destination is like driving through Utah, and just pulling over on the side of the road and at a rest area and just having this, vast open expanse of land, and just being able to relish in that and spending the night there and waking up there. I mean, it's just those experiences that the RV gave us that we wouldn't have had we been in a rush to get somewhere, like having to get to a destination. The RV took that away, so we were never in any rush to get anywhere. And so then we could enjoy the stops along the way. And so I think those are the things that really stay with me.
Yeah, being able to stop. And not only stop for a moment, like in a car, you can stop and you can look at something that's like, oh, we got to get to the hotel and whatever, like you're saying, rushing. But to be able to stop in many, we would say most of the situations, be able to just stay there and then, cook dinner and then pull the shades and wake up in the morning to a sunrise and still be there. The way I like to describe the RV, Bill Gates, the richest people in the world, you cannot afford the real estate that living in an RV affords you. You have the best real estate in the world, and it doesn't cost you anything. That for me is what makes the RV just unbelievable, is that you can't buy that land, but we spent the night there, and then now we're off and whatever. It's amazing.
And you probably saw a lot more of that land and did a lot more on that land than all of those millionaires and billionaires. We want to welcome Walter to the show. Walter, you forgot the first rule of RVing in New England, seeing that you didn't come in until 8. What? Let's just say you were very late, Walter, and it is appropriate that when you are late to the show that you apologize. I know you're on vacation in Florida. I know
he's not on vacation. He is working from Florida.
He cannot be doing his real job with all the pictures that he posted with the new landscaping, the new lights, the new furniture shopping that he did all week. I mean, I think he's stretching it a little bit, but we're delighted that you could join us, Walter.
No, we should tell the Jacksons about Walter. Walter makes it from Massachusetts to Central Florida in a day and a half.
Oh, well, I go toe to toe across the country in less than 3 days.
Yeah, Walter, you and my wife want to race. My wife wants to race you.
Wait, by myself with 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's true. Huh?
Here's my mother.
Okay, now she's really rubbing it in.
In a motorhome. Right?
Sorry, I had to do that.
Sorry, Christine's going to race you with 2 kids and her mom.
Yep.
Sorry, no, go.
How are you going to beat that, Walter?
Go, Walter.
But basically, you didn't have to worry about it took the hurry out of living, right?
Oh, yeah, yes. And it really, I think that the important thing is, in the terms of being relatable, we're not going around telling everybody they need to move in an RV. But if you have an RV and you get in an RV, you could not have a destination. You know, you could just pick a direction, and say, we're going to spend the next 10 days we're going to spend 4 days going west and then 4 days coming home, and pick a different direction. I mean, and not necessarily be like, I'm going, sorry, Walter, to Central Florida, just I'm going nowhere and just discovering things as you go.
Well, Walter had it down to the seconds. He figured he can make it in X number of driving hours. And then when he got there, despite being backed up for 78 miles in southern Georgia, he said we were still only 24 minutes late.
Wow.
When he leaves Massachusetts, he gives us the ETA in Florida. Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Don is saying, okay, we've reached
all
the
that
Connecticut line.
With all that traveling in the RV and seeing this wonderful country, I'll ask both of you, if you could only go to one more place, which place would it be?
That's a bad question.
No, it's a good question.
Not a good question.
Somewhere really far away.
No,
it stumps everybody because everything is so beautiful.
Oh,
We're gonna go to Hood River, Oregon. We're gonna go to Rock Island, Tennessee. We're gonna go to.
We could do it regionally, and that would give people an idea. If I was in the Northwest, I would go to Hood River, Oregon, or the Columbia River Gorge, or White Salmon, the Columbia River Gorge. If I was in the Southwest, I would go to Kernville, California. There's no doubt in my mind.
You mean all the way west? Okay, and then if you were in the Southwest, like as in like Colorado and Durango,
well, that's not really Southwest, Central.
Southwest. But anyway. Anyway, you're good. So
anyway, definitely Colorado. I'd go to Buena Vista,
and
Colorado,
and Salida.
Durango, Colorado, and Salida. I mean, I don't know. That would be a really hard one. You've got to go over the pass.
Okay, let's get out of Colorado. If you'd go to the Guadalupe area of Texas.
Yeah, New England.
New England, we'd go
so many.
Well, you'd go to the White Mountains and Green Mountains, obviously. And then go to Maine. You go to, you got to go to West Forks, Maine. On the Kennebec River, obviously, outside of where University of Maine is. And then you got to go to Bahaba.
Our next destination in Florida is a pretty good one.
We're going to Leesburg,
Florida.
Going to
Leesburg, Florida,
yeah. And then, but wait, you don't just go to Leesburg. You go to, by the way, the boat ramp that I stay at Lake Dora.
That's like a secret, I think.
Mount Dora. It's in the town called Mount Dora. It is the seaplane capital of the U.S., they call it. But anyway, Mount Dora, there's a boat ramp right there. We park the RV. I stay there for a week, and I walk, and you literally get all you can eat oysters for like $30, and they shuck them right there. It's oysters and beer. It's unbelievable. Anyway,
is this Florida or is this Maine?
This
Florida.
is in Florida. Leesburg, Florida. It's actually Mount Dora.
We're going there next week. So
My RV is going to be parked there next week, and I'm eating all you can eat oysters.
See us. Yeah.
Did you ever go to the seaplane fly-in at Moosehead Lake up in Maine?
I never did. No,
that's a great weekend.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah.
So that place in Florida, is that like just northwest of Orlando?
Yeah, it's in the Harris chain of lakes. So Leesburg is we're doing the tournament out of Leesburg, but Mount Dora is a little town just outside of Leesburg on Lake Dora, and they call it the sea capital, the seaplane.
Yeah, I think I've driven through it because I got off I-75 or the Florida Turnpike at the wrong exit.
Well,
yeah,
you should have stopped.
There's a Campers Inn RV in Leesburg, Florida, also.
Okay, that's true.
Okay.
That's right up by the villages.
Right.
Yes.
It's near the villages.
Oh, look at Walter. Walter, Mount Dora is 45 miles north of our house in Davenport.
Come see us.
Okay, let's go have some oysters, man. I'll show you a really good oyster spot. The guy that shucks them, the one guy is a national champion, and the younger guy that usually shucks them for me is trying to beat his boss. and anyway, just super fast. So like
the guy missing three fingers.
It's kind of like Dane and Emily trying to beat you in the kayak, right?
Like that.
That's right.
So, we've been a little bit neglectful here tonight. We have Michelle Fontaine. Michelle, this is another good story. Michelle's the marketing communications director for Rolling on TV. If you ever watch that, so Michelle, you ought to talk to the boss. I don't see the boss on here tonight, but talk to the boss, and you got a hell of a story here. Let's see who we got. We got Audrey, you got Frank. There's Michelle. They loved your story. Ed Herbert's on. All right, from RV Tip.
Well, hey Herbert. I don't know who Herbert is. Who's Herbert?
Ed runs, and his wife run a Facebook group called RV Tips.
Oh,
and
nice.
they are now up over.
We've never been invited. Hey Herbert. Hello.
Over 200,000 members on that Facebook group.
That's impressive.
Hey Herbert, make sure you invite us to RV Tips. My name is EricJackson. Her is Christine Jackson. You can find us on Facebook. We can show you how to sink an RV real quick.
Yeah.
Bob, before we go off, we got to show that video again because there might have been because we showed it like right at 7:01. Some people might not have joined us yet. Do you have it queued up there?
I think I can go again. I think I can.
Why is this what you want to show? I mean, like, you want to show some wonderful RV going through the beautiful landscapes? No, let's show sinking an RV.
Oh no, it's so sad.
Well, that was coming out. Let me back up. I'm giving away the whole story.
Dog drives RV into lake.
You'll like this one, Walter.
Hey, by the way, I did win $10,000 at this tournament.
You needed it to repair the RV.
Yeah, I won $10,000 at this tournament. That doesn't count the cost of the RV, though.
Yeah, right.
That's in the orange.
There's Eric in the orange.
Yeah.
Watch the backup lights here, folks. Watch the backup lights coming up in just a minute.
This is where my dog steps on the reverse button.
Watch the backup lights.
1, 2, 3, and I'm pushing the RV in. Here's where I think I'm
backup lights.
If you had reacted a little quicker.
Let him run.
And the boat floats away. But you can tell where his RV loyalties are, though. He chased the RV. He didn't chase the boat.
I love that RV.
Now, Christine, were you in it? Were you in it at that time?
I was home. I got the phone call.
Okay. What did the phone call sound like?
You'll never believe what I just did.
You'll never believe what just happened.
I was on my way there anyway, but yeah, that was.
So get this.
The call.
It was 30 degrees at nighttime. She came and she spent the week with me during the tournament, And we had, of course, the RV was dead. I mean, like everything about it was dead, and it was wet. And
That was
we slept in it for a week with no heat, no electricity, no nothing for 30 days or for a week.
Did you get mold?
I did, yes. Well, we wouldn't know. It didn't mold that quickly because it was so cold. But I did mention eating coffee in the morning, right?
It was a hard week.
Yeah.
But we never saw the RV again. We got it towed to the top. And then when we left, we piled everything out of the RV onto my bass boat and in the truck, and we drove home. The insurance adjuster came like a week later. It took him forever. It got totaled. And then that was a Safari Simba. We got an insurance check, and we got a Thor Outlaw is what we have now, which I'm a super big fan of the back porch. It's another toy hauler. This one, the Safari Simba, was a diesel, front-end diesel, which we really like the diesel part. We did not like the Allison chassis that the dog can put it in gear part.
Really? I wonder why.
The way it works, there's no safety on the Allison chassis in the Safari Simba, meaning you could, if it's just idling and a kid pushes a reverse button, it will go in reverse or drive.
It doesn't have a.
There's no emergency brake.
Yeah.
The P is the only emergency brake, and you can just hit anyway. The Thor Outlaw is old school, like pull it down and it has an emergency brake. You put it with your feet.
It's harder for the dog to put into gear.
It's like my dog cannot drive a Thor Outlaw.
That is a standard, though, right?
The only other toy haul.
Is it that, or is he just not learned how to drive it?
The only toy hauler class A's in our price range are the Safari Simba and a Thor Outlaw. And we tried a Safari Simba, and my dog goes with me everywhere, and he will drive another one into the lake.
Well, they've been out of business since the last recession. So
okay, well, we went for the Thor Outlaw because the Thor has safety mechanisms and also has this amazing back porch. So it's a toy hauler, Class A, and this one's a gas, but an engine in the front, and it folds down, and you've got like a porch in the back with the netting where the dog can't get out, and it's like open air. It is like so awesome. I put my kayaks in there, my fishing gear in there. Anyway, toy haulers are pretty awesome.
What advice would you have to people that, maybe getting close to retirement or the opposite end of it? They're in their 30s and, they want to hit the road. Cautions or go?
Yeah, one for sure for me is don't be afraid of it and don't bring too much stuff. You don't need it.
Yeah, caution is something that people have too much of related to this. For every one person that says, "Oh, that's awesome, you should just do it," there's 5 people saying, like, "What are you going to do?" There's the fear of the unknown.
Then the people that will tell you not to do it, and they ain't never done it themselves, right?
Exactly. There's a little bit of just one. You hit the first time. I'm not somebody that gets scared easily, but the first time I got behind the wheel of a Class A motorhome, which was the Coachman Murata, and I'm in College Park, Maryland. I bought it at an RV dealership in College Park, Maryland. And I'm on it's 4 lanes of traffic, but with just a yellow line in the middle, and it's busy road. And I'm driving the first thing I've ever driven bigger than a Honda Civic. Okay. And I'm behind the wheel going, oh my gosh, like, am I going to hit the thing on the right, hit the thing on the left? I was pretty gripped for about 30 minutes with the very first part. And then I got on the beltway and I started getting more comfortable. Within a week, it's like, this is not challenge. There's a reason that they allow trucks on the road. There's a reason that there's all these bigger vehicles and it's not a problem. It's because with a little bit of experience, your comfort level goes up and you can do this. You can drive this thing. It is not that challenging. Yes, you got to look in your mirror, you got to look in whatever, and you got to be a little bit careful. But it's actually that was probably the number one hump to get over was just that initial, can I drive this?
Yeah. But hold on a second.
What?
You go over waterfalls in a boat, and you're afraid driving down a city street in College Park, Maryland.
Right. Well, yeah, but
What's wrong with that?
but you could take that, you could take that another way, though. If EricJackson could learn how to drive an RV, that means that you and I could learn how to do this.
I would gladly bow out of that.
Well,
That's good.
but using his logic, if he can learn how to drive an RV, he's scared. He comes in, he learns how to drive the RV. Well, no.
That's a good point.
We get a couple of kayaks, we find a little waterfall, and we'll just be nervous for that first 5 or 10 minutes, according to Eric.
Bob,
It's nothing.
you're all in, Bob. I'm going to come on down. I'm going to put you in a kayak. It's going to be awesome.
Not this guy, Pat. Maybe DePietro will go with you.
Yeah. I saw that water ride at the park was about my limit from that perspective. But let's just get here serious here for 1 second because
we got about 3 minutes left.
There's a great story in a magazine called Outside Magazine, a great story on Eric about EricJackson doesn't believe in getting old. Bob, if you have the link for that.
Anything for you, John. I'm just here, whatever you want, I've got it.
Put that link there. There you go. Put that link. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that link. Even if you have to copy and paste it, it might not be a live link. But there's some amazing there's some amazing philosophy in there. And really, you're like 20 years ahead of Tom Brady when it comes to that attitude.
Yeah, the attitude and not the paycheck, but that definitely. I mean, I don't know if it's more of a risk when you're younger or older, to move in an RV. I'm not 100% sure about that, or live in an RV or vacation in an RV. I think it just completely different benefits to it. But I do think experiencing new things as often as you can will keep anybody young.
Well, for those that missed early on, Eric, tell them what you just qualified for again at the young age of 57.
Bob, stop moving that paper off the keyboard.
Yeah, we just had U.S. Olympic team trials for slalom kayaking, and it was also just U.S. team trials for not the Olympics, but for the World Championships and World Cup. And I just qualified for the USA slalom team for extreme slalom, they call it, for the World Cup, and I'm leaving in a couple of weeks for that. It is a new event that will be in the Olympics starting in 2024. I'm competing in the World Cup and the World Championships for that. But anyway, it's something. I've been on the U.S. slalom team since 1998 because I've been focused on freestyle kayaking and other stuff. But I'm pretty fired up to be able to do that again. It's pretty exciting.
I'm guessing you're probably the oldest guy on the team. How young is the youngest person on the team?
Well, the average age is somewhere around 20. But average bicep size, I'm right in there,
Oh my God.
Well, look at you. You have been great guests. It is 7:59 and we have one commercial to play at the end. I think we could keep this going for 2 or 3 hours, and I think our fans would love it. But what a tremendous story, and I'm really happy John discovered you a couple of months ago, and we had you on the Camper Report show a couple of times, and thought, well, he's proved his worth, so we can introduce him to the people in New England.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Bob and John.
All right, and I didn't see Tom Dempsey from Sylvan Sport on tonight, but he said he had a dinner engagement, so he will watch the replay. So if you want to say anything to your friend Tom, go right ahead.
We still have your trailer out back.
Yeah, Tom, we got a trailer out back, but it's like 15 years old. Just saying.
It's doing great.
Yeah, it's doing awesome. Yeah, Sylvan Sport's been awesome. Both of my kids have had Sylvan Sport trailers also. So anyway, hope to see you on the show, John.
Okay, guys. Have a great day.
I am going to take us out with the commercial. Thank you very much for joining us. Delightful spending the evening with you tonight.
Sweet.
Thank you.
See y'all soon, guys. Okay, everybody.
This edition of RVing in New England was brought to you by Lee's Family Trailer Sales and Service, one of America's fastest growing RV dealerships, and was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.